Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Springboard Tales, Women of Wit, an evening where sharp minds sparkle brighter together than swords and clever thinking saves the day. I'm Kaanchan, and I'll be your guide on this wonderful journey. And trust me, I feel absolutely honored to host this show by Springboard Tales, featuring these wonderful storytellers whom I know need no introduction whatsoever. So, women of wit. If you are wondering, are the women witty who are telling the stories, or are they going to be stories that are witty? Well, let me assure you, it's a combination of both. Tonight, every story from us brings to you a woman who is in a tight spot. She is either cornered or challenged or underestimated. But instead of panicking, she pauses, she thinks, and outwits her way out of all the sticky situations that she finds herself in. I'll begin this journey myself, and then I will pass the baton on to the other women here. So let's get started. Our first woman, she is trapped. She is trapped not by walls, but by cruelty. And she has no weapons, no army, no loud voice. But what she does have are nimble fingers, infinite amounts of patience, generosity of spirit, and a lot of love. So let's get into it. Wow, what a beautiful wedding gown. And look at the lace. So intricate, the design, so beautiful. Where did you buy it? I did not buy it anywhere. I got it from Sister Lace. You know how beautifully she weaves lace gowns? Oh, absolutely. Oh, look at your curtains. They must have been expensive. No, I know. Let me guess. It was Sister Lace who wore these lace curtains for you, didn't she? Absolutely. And she gave it to me. One day I was feeling very dull and she thought these curtains would cheer me up. And they did. Oh, what a cute baby. Oh, but the dress that the baby is wearing, the lace, so lovely. And those little hearts, you can almost feel them beat, right? There is absolutely some magic in Sister Lace's fingers, isn't it? Well, this was a sentiment of not just 3 families, but of 100 families that lived in a cozy little village along the Yangtze-Kiang River of China. Here in this village, there was a beautiful young girl, and she was loved and adored not just because she was pretty, but because she was such a generous, kind, and loving soul. And she had a unique talent. Her talent was to spin the most beautiful designs in lace. And instead of selling them off at the market and becoming super duper rich, what did she do? She gave them away to the people in her village. She gave them clothes and curtains, tabletops, handkerchiefs, whatever they wanted. She would happily, wholeheartedly weave them for them because she only wanted to spread love and positivity and happiness. And that's what Sister Lace was all about. Her name was long forgotten because everybody fondly called her Sister Lace. Now, this village was filled with people who were not very rich. They were quite poor, in fact. But in their midst, there was one young man called Mika who loved to try to make more money. He had ambition. So he had the misfortune of borrowing a huge amount of money from a wealthy man named Juan in a neighboring village. Now, Juan, you could say, was the diametric opposite of Sister Lace. He loved money. All he ever thought about was how to double and triple his money or even just make one measly extra penny. It was money on his mind all the time. And you know what he loved to do the most? Was lend huge sums of money to poor people and charge them high interest, knowing they would never be able to return it. So he could go to their houses and take everything away from them, strip them of their dignities, give them some kind of joy. Now Mika did the foolishness of borrowing money from Juan and not being able to return it. And Juan landed up in Mika's house one day and demanded, "Hey, you scoundrel, You rascal, return my money. I have given you 1 day's grace time and still you haven't given me my money. I want everything that you have. If you don't return my money, I'll take whatever you own. These cows, not yours anymore. They are mine. This cart, not yours anymore. It's mine. This house, this shack, it's not yours. It's mine. And just like that, mid-sentence, Juan stopped talking because something didn't add up. Mika lived in a shack. Those were barely walls, but look at that curtain on the window. It was fine lace, something that Juan knew even he couldn't afford. Hey, Mika scoundrel, did you squander all the money on this one curtain? No, no, no. I did not buy that curtain. Did you steal it? Did you steal it from somebody from my rich village? No, no, absolutely not. This curtain was woven by Sister Lace. She lives in our village, and she gives away everything for free. Free? Now, free was a word Juan was not acquainted with. Free? Who gives away stuff for free when you could make a lot of money? So now his businessman brain was ticking. There was somebody in this village who had access to such gorgeous lace and she was giving it away for free. He had to have in on it. Okay, yeah, take me to Sister Lace, he said. And Mika had a brilliant idea, or so he thought. He said, yes, yes, you can go, you can take whatever lace you want, you can sell it, and my debt will be closed. Please, please, please come with me. And he led Juan to Sister Lace's house. And along the way, Juan was surprised to see these small dingy huts all decorated with fancy lace, and on the clothesline, fancy lace gowns that even women of his high society could not afford. Finally, they reached Sister Lace's house, and he stormed inside. And there, like a fairy sitting on gentle white petals, was Sister Lace still weaving something beautiful, gorgeous out of lace. Any other man would have heard wedding bells, but Juan heard money bags, and he immediately knew what had to be done. He decided. He said, wow, you spin all of this, you weave all these pieces of lace, and you give them away for free. Absolutely. Sister Lace looked up and she knew the story immediately. Mika, rich man, all right. She knew what had to be done. You know what, kind sir? You can take how much ever lace you want. You can even come back for more. You can sell them, make whatever amount of money you want. Just don't trouble Mika, please, she said in her sweetest, most angelic voice. I don't want what you have made. I don't want only what you have made. I want this and everything else that you are going to make. And for that, I am taking you away with me. What? You're taking me away with you? I don't want to come with you. You know what? I weave best when I am here in my house. I will stay here and give you whatever you want. No, you will listen to me. Otherwise, I will take everything that this scoundrel Mika owns and I will take him also and throw him inside the dungeon. What do you say? Sister Lace, being the kind soul that she is, she said, oh, okay, fine. I'll come with you. I'll come with you. And while going out, she told Mika, do something, make the money and come and get me out. Don't worry. And the thugs of Juan grabbed Sister Lace and threw her into his carriage. She was gone, leaving the village devastated. Juan took Sister Lace to his mansion and threw her into a dingy, dark dungeon. And he said, you know what? Along the journey, I've had another brilliant idea as always. I have decided to marry you. What? But I don't want to marry you. I would never ever marry such a cruel man. Please, please let me go. I will spin, I will weave lace for you all my life, my entire life. But please, I do not ever want to marry you. Did it seem like I was asking your permission, Sister Lace? I'll give you this night's time to get some sense. He locked her inside and he went away. Poor Sister Lace, she was miserable. She did not know what to do. The only thing she ever could do was weave. So she started weaving a beautiful rooster made from lace. And she was so distracted that accidentally she pricked her finger and a drop of blood fell on the rooster's crown and something magical happened. And the rooster came alive and started fluttering around in the dungeon. The next morning, when Juan opened the door, the rooster jumped on him and almost plucked out his eye. He was furious. Who dares to keep this rooster in here for her company? Did I ask anybody to entertain her? And then, as usual, coming to the rescue of the security sister, he said, no, nobody did anything. I spun that, and it magically came to life. I'm so sorry. I did not mean for that to happen. Magic? You weave creatures and they magically come alive. I'm supposed to believe this. She said, no, it's true. I'll do it again. Of course you're going to do it again. You will now weave a lace partridge for me. Closed her, shut her inside and went away. And immediately Sister Lace set to work. She started weaving a cute, beautiful little partridge, and once she was done, she pricked her finger with the needle and she took a drop of blood and rubbed it on its tail feathers. Like magic again, the partridge was alive. So the next morning, when Juan opened the door, the partridge flew and sat on his shoulder. And she said, see, I made that partridge for you. Now will you please let me free? What will I do with a partridge? I did not ask for a partridge. I don't want this partridge. And he threw it away. And then, but you said, I did not say any such thing. But if you want, maybe you can weave a long, huge, deadly snake for me. Its scales should just glisten in the sunlight. Can you do that? And then maybe I will let you free. But as he shut the door, he knew he was never letting her free. Her lace was worth so much of money. Magical lace, even more. He knew he had got her and he was going to keep her. But inside, Sister Lace had started weaving. This was her way out, she thought. One voice inside her head was saying, weave fast, this is how you're going to get out. And another voice was saying, Sister Lace, how naive can you be? This man is never going to let you go. Sister Lace was listening to both voices and her fingers were at work. And as she was spinning, she knew exactly what had to be done. So all through the night, she was weaving. Her fingers were working fast and gracefully. And she was weaving something she knew was going to help her get out of her troubles. She kept weaving, her mind focused. It did not matter that her fingers were cramping, her legs were cramping. She did it all night. And finally, when the first rays of dawn entered into her dungeon, the rays touched the shiny scales, and it was glistening red from the blood that she had spread on it. And it looked immaculate. It looked so beautiful. And as if an alarm had gone off in his head, he came storming into the dungeon. He opened it and he stopped short because the sun rays was falling on some glistening scales, just the way he had imagined it, a lovely rose gold. And he slowly started following the tail as it went deeper and deeper into the dark dungeon. And he was feeling a sense of power take over him. He had got magic with him and he was absolutely thrilled and his eyes were practically popping. And then the tail was whisked away and it reared. And what he saw gave him more than just a startle. It was Sister Lace holding the reins to not a snake, but a dragon. And when she yanked the reins, it spat fire out. It spat fire all around it and set his entire mansion ablaze as it flew away back to her village, taking her back to safety. And Juan, he never messed with another woman again. Well, that was the story of Sister Lace, who used her art and her wit to come out of a really tough situation. Now we are going to move on to our next woman of wit. Our next story introduces a woman. She is married, and she is married to a man whose temper arrives faster than his thoughts. Arguing with him is useless. Fighting with him is pointless. So she does what truly clever women do. She teaches without shouting and corrects without scolding and lets her wit deliver the lesson. So, to deliver this wonderful story for us, I call upon our dearest Banumathy. You can take over now.
Thank you. Thank you, Kaanchan. A long time ago, there was a bright and bustling kingdom which was ruled by King Arivan. Now, this King Arivan was intelligent, was brilliant, was very knowledge person, at least according to him. Not only an ordinary brilliant or knowledge person, but he thinks he was the best in the entire world. Every evening he would call his ministers. He would gather up everybody and he would sit on his golden throne and ask, "Can you tell me what walks in four legs in the morning, two at noon, and three at night?" Now the ministers will exchange looks. They would scratch their head and they would look at the king. "Ha! You don't know. You are not wise as me." And days went, months went like this. You know what? This clever king had another side. He was best in his knowledge, but he had also had a bad temper. Whenever he sees a bit of extra salt in the food, he would just bang on the bowl and said, "Throw him into the dungeon. I don't want this chef anymore." Oh no. And another day, a musician was wonderfully singing, and there was just slight miss in the note. "Stop it! Chop off his hands!" Oh no. He was that short-tempered. Poor mother. Arivan's mother would always pacify him. He would say, "My dear son, you know what? Cleverness, cleverness without kindness is like a light without oil. Please stay calm." And he would settle down. Well, one day, he decided to get married. He told his mother, "Mother, I'll choose a bride for me as intelligent, as smart, as brilliant as me." And so saying, off he went, far away to the land around, looking for his bride. He went from village to village, town to town, city to city. Whenever he finds a girl whom he likes, he would ask, "Can you tell me, how many leaves would your basil plant would grow if you take good care of it?" And the girls would say, "5." And some said, "I think 10, 1,000." He got different answers, but he would say, "Mm-mm, not correct." And he would move on and on and on until he met a beautiful, gorgeous girl. He went into the village of a farming area and where this Padmavati was drawing water from the well. She had beautiful eyes, long curly hair, and he called out and asked the same question. "Can you tell me, if you grow a basil plant, how many leaves would it grow?" And she said, "Oh, sure. Can you tell me? Or I would say, as many fish in the sea is the number of leaves in my plant. He was awestruck and he said, Hmm, well done. You are smart. I would like to marry you. What do you say? Padmavati immediately accepted. And she said, But Your Majesty, on one condition. You know what? I want you to fulfill my wish on the last day or on the day when I die. I would ask my last wish and I want you to fulfill it. Anything for you if you agree to marry me. And soon the wedding bells rang. They got married and they lived a lovely life. And yes, there was this short temper king. Every time, whenever he gets short tempered, whenever he gets angry, she would speak calmly. Whenever he shouts, she would pacify. One day, when the farmer came saying that, Your Majesty, please spare me. I am not able to pay the tax. It's drought. Please spare me. No, no way. Take his land. Come on, take his land. But Padmavati said, My dear, please spare him for now. He would be of service for you for a long time. And the next time, there was this man who came for a crime and he was asked to chop off his head. But Padmavati said, please spare him. Be kind. Kindly ask what is the truth. And soon the king agreed. Days went by, months went by, and it was so busy day for the king. Right from early morning till afternoon, he was busy with so many affairs and he just reached for lunch. The moment he came to the lunch table, shocked because Padmavati has arranged a simple, meager meal. Where is my royal meal? He asked. No, dear, it was I who suggested for a simple meal. Why didn't you taste this today? No! Guards, take her and chop off her head, he ordered. It was silence. Everybody froze, but Padmavati. She just looked into the eyes of the king and said, I agree to your punishment and the judgment. I just want to remind you about the last wish. Of course, I'm the king. I am the king of word. Tell me what you want. I just want my husband to die along with me. And that is the end of the story. Thank you.
Wow, that was really an interesting take, wasn't it? We've heard about the wife who fought to bring back her husband from death. Here she was literally on the verge of dying herself and she won her way out with her wit. Thank you so much, Banumathy, for sharing that with us. And now we move on to our next witty lady. We're going to meet a woman whose home has turned into some sort of a daily dinner service for three freeloaders who have overstayed and outstayed their welcome. And as she sees the food disappearing off the table, she does not panic, she does not get angry, she does not shout, she does not scold, but instead she makes a very clever plan. And to present this wonderful tale, a musical medley, we have Miss Ambuja. Over to you, Ambuja.
Thank you, Kaanchan, especially for making me miss again. Well, before we get into the story, for the friends connecting from outside India, let me make you familiar with a few terms and then we'll get into the story. So, there is a percussion instrument called the mridangam. That is one of the Indian instruments. And the one who plays the mridangam will be referring to as mridangist in our story. And then there is this very special delicacy of South India called as the pongal. It's made out of rice, a creamy dish. And a sickle which we use to harvest paddy. And the fourth and the final one, and this is the veena, a string instrument from ancient India, and whoever plays the veena is referred to as a vainika. Once upon a time, in a village, there lived a couple, Rangaya and Sarala, with their 3 children, Nandu, Sundu and Mundu. Now, Rangaya had very meager earnings, but Sarala was a very smart homemaker. She managed with whatever Rangaya brought. Now, Rangaya had a flair for music. Whenever a concert happens in the village, he'll be the first one to go attend the concert. Well, Sarala was perfectly fine with that. But what she didn't like was, as soon as the concert was over, he will bring all the musicians home for dinner. Sarala would have cooked just enough for their own family. And Sarala will be like, how will I feed all these people? And most of the days, she and her children would go to bed with only half-filled tummies. One day, Sarala told her husband, Yenanga, come on, we have just enough to take care of our needs. And why do you have to bring all these people home? And Rangaya said, come on, my great-grandfathers were great patterns. They patronized all the artists and everyone. And shouldn't I follow the tradition? Of course, but your great-grandfathers were the richest. When we become rich like them, we can also take care of others. But Rangaya wouldn't listen, and days passed by. One day, there was a concert happening in the village. And now, as usual, Rangaya was the first one to go, and he sat there all ready to listen to the concert. There came the vocalist, the singer, a nice healthy man with a big paunch. And he seated in the middle of the stage. And to his right was the mridangist, the percussionist. And to his left was the vainika, the one who was playing the veena. And the concert started. Mahaganapatim manasa smarami, ably accompanied by the mridangist. Tajam takitajam tarikitatim tadam takadim, and the vainika. And as the notes filled the air and as the tempo started to raise, concert ended. Now Rangaya rushed to the musicians and he said, "Wow, what a concert! Come home for dinner." Well, when all these were happening here, what was happening at Rangaya's house? Let us see. The children went to their mother and said, "Amma, it's been a while that you cooked pongal for us, Amma. Can you please cook pongal for us today, please?" And the mother said, "Why not? Let me cook pongal." And she started. She fried those grounded black pepper and cumin seeds and those fresh cashews in the ghee. Sark, park, sark, park. And when the aroma of the ghee and the cashews and the pepper and the cumin seeds wafted in the air and filled the house, the children were transported totally to another world. The pongal was ready. And Amma said, "Pongal is ready." And the children were like, okay, then can we eat now? And she said, wait. Let your appa, let your father come and then we all can have pongal together. The kids were disappointed. Okay, now we have to wait, fine. There was a knock at the house and Sarala went to open the door with a bright smile. But when she opened the door, not again. But she had to have that smile plastered on her face. She welcomed them. "Oh, please, come in. What an honor to have you all as our guests." But her mind started to think. Aha! And she got an idea. She called her husband and said, "Yenanga, it's not respectful to serve all of these people on plates. Go buy nice fresh banana leaves and we will serve them on banana leaves, the traditional way." Rangaya looked at his wife. "That's my wife. Good, I'll go get banana leaves." And he left. Now Sarala looked at the musicians. She said, "Please wait. Let me complete the dinner and we will serve you soon." She went inside. She took the pongal, which had now become warm. She made one big ball. She kept it there. And one small ball. And she fixed the ball in front of the big ball. And then another ball. She took one cashew and put it on top of that ball. And then the third one. And she rolled a small piece and attached to it. Now she called her children, "Nandu, Mundu, Sundu." And all the three came running. And in a husky voice, she pointed and said, "This is the vocalist. Can you see that paunch? This is the vocalist. And this is the mridangist. Can you see the nose? That is the mridangist. And now this is the vainika. And that small little thing is the veena. Okay? And now she raised her voice and said, "Okay, dear children, tell me, whom do you want to eat?" And the elder one said, Amma, I want to eat that vocalist, Amma. He looks nice, plump and fat, Amma. I want to eat him, Amma." Now the younger one said, "No, Amma, I like his tummy, Amma. I want to eat that tummy. The tummy looks very tasty." And there the vocalist, What's happening? And now the mother said, don't worry, don't fight. You want a tummy, you want the vocalist. I will slice his tummy. You eat the tummy and you eat the vocalist. My tummy? What kind of a family this is? Well, it still continued. And then the next child. Okay, Amma. They both will eat the vocalist and his tummy, fine. And I want this mridangist, Amma. This mridangist, especially look at his nose. That is protruding, Amma. That is very nice, Amma. Amma, what I will do, I will cut his head off, okay? And I will bite his nose first, and then I will eat the remaining head and the body, Amma. And the mridang's heart started racing. What? Biting my nose? What's happening here? And now the other child said, okay, we will eat the vocalist and the mridangist and his tummy fine. And okay, Amma, Appa will eat the vainika. But the vainika is so thin. But she has a veena. You do one thing, Amma. You eat the veena. Appa will eat the vainika. Eating the veena? What kind of a family this is? But still, Amma, this vainika is so thin. He will not be enough to fill Appa's tummy, no? What do we do, Amma? And the mother said, that's not a problem, Kanna. I will slice the vainika vertically into 2 halves. And you can see all the roasted remaining cashews. I will just put all the cashews. And I will make a sandwich. And you, Appa and myself, we will share the vainika. Don't worry. Oh, that's a fantastic idea, Amma. And when all these was happening, the people in the hall. Oh no! What a cannibalistic family this is. We cannot stay here for any more. And immediately, what did they do? They started running away. And now Rangayya was entering. He saw them running. He went to Sarala and asked, hey Sarala, why are they running? Oh, you know what they asked for? They asked for that sickle. You know, that sickle that we used to harvest that has been passed across generations. And you told now that is very, very important for us. They asked for that sickle. And they told, no, I cannot give. And they became angry and they left. Sarala, how many times I have to tell you? My great fine, you won't understand. When a guest asks for something, you have to give it, okay? I'm sorry. Maybe you can go and give it yourself. Yes, bring that sickle soon. And Sarala got the sickle, gave it to him. Rangayya took the sickle and started following the musicians. Stop. This is for you. Come on, take it. Come in to cut my leg. What is this? No, let's all. He was following the sickle is for you. Come. Take this. And they started running. And they ran off. And they never ever returned again. And Sarala and her family had their tummies full after that. And that is the end of this story.
Well, even if you don't have the backstory and someone's chasing you with a sickle, you better run, right? Thank you so much for that brilliant story and that wonderful musical medley that you brought for us. Really, it made it absolutely fantastic to listen to. So, Some people have brilliant talents like our Vayanika Ambujavali. They're really good on a musical instrument. Some sing well, some dance well. But the woman in our next story, she has a very, very unique talent, something that she was born with, she did not ask for, and something that had often been the butt of ridicule and embarrassment. But can this all turn around? Will she face a better day because of this talent? Let's find out. And to tell us this wonderful story, we have Priya with us. Over to you, Priya.
Thank you, Kaanch. Here we go. Hey, 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 hey. Mario, Marie, Mario, Marie, Mario, Marie. Mario and Marie were newlyweds. They were so much in love. Just calling out to each other's names was making them so full of love, and they were feeling butterflies in their stomach. Yes, they were just few days into marriage, and they were feeling the love. The entire world's love, they were feeling it all. And things were going as good as love should be. And Marie would go about with all the chores of the house because she was filled with love. She would just sing through all of it. A few days passed, and things were not the same anymore. She was slowing down. Something was bothering her. The mother-in-law was quick to notice this. She immediately walked up to her and asked, Marie, is everything okay? Is something wrong, dear? No, mother-in-law. No, nothing is. Dear, we are your parents too. You can let us know. Are you missing your parents? I've been through it too. You can share it to me. No, no, mother-in-law. Don't ask me anything. Dear, this is your home now. You have to feel at ease. You could get sick, you know. Mother-in-law, I, I, I could. What? I couldn't hear you, dear. What is it? I, I, I couldn't vote. I need to, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. You silly girl. You want to fart. That's normal. Why would you've been holding it all this while? Silly. Why did you? Please, just let it go. And you would be so much better. I tell you, this is our home, dear. Marie was so relieved. She just bent down, tucked in her tummy, and off she went. And it was one of the loudest farts. And because it was loud, it was not stinky. And it went so loud, and blew the mother-in-law right out into the turnip that Mario was working on. Oh, finally. Mother-in-law, where are you? Where are you? Ow! Ow! Mario came running to his mother. What happened, mother? What happened? Oh my God. Marie, she let out a fart and I landed here. What? And both of them came running back to the house. Marie was in tears. Marie had no words to say. Mario had to choose between love and being a dutiful son. He decided, Marie, it's no longer safe for my parents to be around you. I think it's better you go to your parents' place. And they agreed. It was one of the longest walks, and Marie and Mario were headed to Marie's village. And on the way, there was a persimmon tree, and there were king's men who were trying to get on top, one after the other. They were just holding their arms, one after the other, and each one climbed onto the other. And they was trying to reach to the top of the most sweetest tree in the entire village, reserved for the king. And they wanted to get all the fruits from the tree at top. Marie was watching this. The men came tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down, and they couldn't reach and get all the fruits. Marie stopped the walk midway and just ran over and said, Can I help with this? You, 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 young lady, can help with this. We are trained and we are trying to get up high, and then we are not able to reach. And you say that you can help us? Let us see you try. Marie, without wasting a moment, asked everyone to step out, clear the way, and then she bent down, tucked in her tummy, and let out pot, 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 pot. And all the fruits from the sweetest tree came tumbling down, and they all collected in the basket right in time. And the king's men were all in shock. But the head of them all understood that this girl was really helpful, and he handed her a bag of gold. Marie got the bag of gold, but it meant nothing to her because she was not in, she was headed back to her village, and the love of her life was going to leave her there forever. They continued the walk, and Mario, the love that was in his heart, wanted to burst out of his chest and tell her how much he loved her despite all this. But he couldn't. Duty was much more than that. So they headed further, and there was a river. And right across the river was Marie's village. And there, a couple of men were trying to push a boat containing all sorts of groceries, bales of rice, a lot of other things. And these two were standing on the river bank. The men were pushing and pushing and pushing. Marie couldn't help it. Despite her situation, she just ran right next to the men and said, I can help you with that, sir, if you'd let me. And Marie immediately did her thing. She bent down, tucked in her tummy, and the boat just glided into the river. And these two got onto the boat and got a ride as well. And she also got an entire bale of rice, which the traders had handed into Marie. And just across the river, they crossed and they landed. They set foot on the other side, and this was Marie's village. Yes, people are going to notice that Marie is back so soon. And just then, when they stepped out of the boat, and things were not so okay with Mario. He had a change of heart. He had to choose. Duty was, yes, it was all the more important, but he understood that he had to protect his love. He had to take her back home with him, and she is not to be left here. And so he decided that he will explain to his parents that Murray has the most beautiful and kindest soul. Yes, they decided to go back. Murray was in tears, absolute tears. She was so happy and she hugged him tight. And they decided the shortest way to get back right before dawn was to take the hill. And the hill they took, and as they went atop the hill, a few traders having their carts full were trying to go uphill and they were struggling with all that. And Murray, as usual, now so chippy and so happy, ran next to them and said, I can help you. And she did her thing once again with her squatting and her tummy tucked in and slowly taking and letting it all out with the loudest fart. And the cart just reached the top. And they got a ride as usual, and they slowly descended down. And as they came down, the head of the traders who were traveling in the cart was so impressed with this young lady, and they gifted her a horse. Now, they both of them got onto the horse. Mario was got on immediately, and he held out his hand. And Murray was a little skeptical and coy and shy once again, and she slipped her hand into his, and he scooped her onto the horse, and both of them rode. And then they could all that they could hear was that was their hearts in sync, and they rode straight back to the village. Mario did all the explaining to his parents, and the mother in law rushed and hugged. Oh dear, what a terrible mistake it was to send you back. Oh, this is your home. It will always be. And things were all very cool. And Mario, our dear loving husband that he was, built her a nice place out of the house where she had the privacy that she always wanted. And yes, the village knew of all her feats. She was almost a celebrity now with her powerful talent, and they celebrated her for being the loudest farter of the village and the most helpful and kindest person. And every time she wanted to relieve herself, she had the love of her husband, a private space where she could relieve without embarrassment and feel the most loved. She went there, tucked in her tummy, squat down, and with the so, with the greatest relief in the world. And yes, thank you.
Well, that was a unique story, just like her unique talent, which initially may have seemed like a curse, but then turned out to be a blessing, not for just her family, but for the entire village that they lived in. Thank you so much, Priya, for that. Moving on to our next wonderful woman of wit. This is a story about a mother who sees her son in trouble. He's at a job he doesn't want to go to, and she has to help get him out of this tight spot. She's got to think fast, think out of the box, and perhaps get some otherworldly help to bring this wonderful, fun story, a very interesting one. I call Dear Debjani. Over to you.
Pennam. Pennam. Oh, you are all international, no? You don't know all this. I'm a village woman. So in our locally we say Pennam. For you it is greetings. Correct, no? All right. So I'm not that great storyteller like you all, but locally in my village, people call me, almost Netflix. They say if Netflix had a face, that would have been mine. Anyways, and now the village fair is going on here. There also I have my stall. In case you come down towards our village, please have a look and be there to listen to my story. Okay. All right. So as always, usually I serve pan and the mouth freshener, and that helps me and help the listeners also. So put that inside. Indian mouth freshener. Okay. All internationals, you can also do that. Herbal only. So let me begin my story. What story? This is real only. My son Paju, we don't know why. Few months ago, he got possessed with the image of city dreams, city life, money, changing his fortune, blah, blah. And he said, Mother, I will go, Ma. I'll earn my fortune. We will have beautiful future. All right. I could not stop him. What changing future? The city only conquered him, changed him totally. He landed up with a job in a very rich and intellectual family. Husband, scientist. Wife, poet. Wow. Big intellect, lots of money, big intellect, big ego, small mind. Correct or not? I'm not generalizing, okay? Don't blame me for that. But it is true. The rich has been exploiting the poor from times immemorial. What? Yes or no? 21st century also it is happening. Huh? Yeah. Anyways, coming to the story. So, 10 days ago, when my son, Pachu means 5, Panch, and oo, one you put oo. So, Pachu. So, my Pachu returned home. What to tell? He went like sweet, beetroots. And he came like one lady's finger. they That's what they made out of him. They squeezed the juice out of him. And that's when I decided, come what may, we will have less to eat. But no, son, I am not letting you go back to that city, not to that intellectual rich house, definitely not. Try something else. Some what do you call nowadays organic farming? And if you do organic farming, you can put some fish there. Do that also. Sell it. Now, with internet, you can do lot of stuff. So you can do that. No, Pachu, why to go there and waste your life like this? But Pachu was very smart. He told me, Ma, I can't hide. I can't go and hide in heaven or in hell. Huh? Yes. Arey, don't think all this. Yes, Ma. They will find me wherever I go. Our village, friends, is 6 hours from the city. How will those rich, big, intellectual people waste time and come here? Not possible. That's what I thought. But Paju said, no, Ma, there is something called GPS. Eh? Yes, some positioning system, something, he said. I said, no. If they have GPS, then I have MIS. Pachu didn't understand. I guess you all also didn't understand. Mother's intelligence and smartness, that you won't get anywhere. No. All right. So, we two, mother, son, were living nicely. 2 days ago, one of my Pachu's friend came running. Kakima. That means auntie. Are Kakima. I said, what happened? Why in the afternoon you are coming running? What happened? Hide, Pachu. Somebody has come with big fat glasses, super big car and big suit and is looking for Pachu. All this big means? That big person only. I hit Pachu, but Pachu was telling, Ma, how will you handle all this? I said, listen, if he is such a renowned scientist, so I am also storyteller, no? Huh? Don't underestimate my power. So I hit Pachu and asked him to go to somebody else's house. I was crying. Then came the knock. My meter of my crying meter went up. And somebody opened the door. And here came that man with suit and class and this. Where is Pachu? Why are you crying? Don't waste my time. Call Pachu. What? Pachu died? Passed away? So soon? No. Take it away. Take it away. Who took him away? We don't know. Listen, I don't have time to waste. You tell me, where is Pachu? But that's what I'm trying to tell you, sir. Pachu has been taken away, but we don't know who were they. What do you mean? You want to listen to the full thing? I told him. And he said, okay, in short. In short only, you are a great person, I know. Your time is very important. But somehow our time is also a little important only, sir. I will tell in short. So what happened, sir? Exactly the day after Pachu came back from your place, no? One big, how it looked, Lattu. What is Lattu? Oh, Lattu you don't know. I thought you know Bangla, that is your mother tongue. But even nowadays, we are not always remembering our mother tongue, Yeah, so Lattu is a spinning wheel, correct? No, spinning wheel only you call, spinning top, sorry. My English is not that good also. Spinning top, children play? Maybe. Then what? Not so lightly you don't take, sir. That spinning top was not a small spinning top with which children play. It was huge, massive, very big. And it was only made fully with metal. And what is this? Light coming from different angles. Oh, tell me in short. I'm trying my best, but main points I have to touch. No, what do you tell? Okay, so this metal top with lights made thunderous sound and came down. That's when the scientist bent down. His eyes and his forehead, the lines clearly showed, dear friends, that I have hooked him. What? From up, thunderous sound and light, metallic top light looking. Tell me now, what did you see in details? Yes, sir. So it made thunderous sound, I continued, and it landed on our village field. Thud! In the middle of the night. Oh, really? Have you taken any photo? Photo? How, sir? We were all trembling with the sound, and then we rushed to the field. We saw, what is this? We have never even dreamt in our life. and you were asking us to take photo. No, no, no. None of us were in that state to take photo. And then what? And then the most difficult or the most fearsome part of it, sir. There was a hole. And through that hole, from that top, came out. Yes, yes, what, who? Hey, who? We don't know that, sir. They were all metal, but they could walk. Their eyes were also chick-pick, 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 chick-pick. They were not talking, only walking, looking around. Ah, did you take any photo of these people? I mean, this extraterrestrial being? I think that was UFO. What, sir? What for? UFO. You leave it. Whatever you were telling about your top and all this. Continue. Yes, sir. The top was there making that sound. And that metal being. Metal being? I told you no. Some crawled out of that hole. They were fully metal. So what can we call, sir? Not human being, no. So metal being. So this metal being came down and were walking like this, coming towards us. We were scared, we were moving out. And out of all of us, they grabbed my pachu. And through that hole, they, pushed pachu inside and what? Ish! Clear proof! The scientist, shouted out, clear proof of the existence of extraterrestrial beings and UFO and anybody has taken any documentation. What you were telling, sir? Daku. All this we don't know. I have lost my pachu. That only I know. Oh, all right. Don't cry. Tell me the facts. Have they left anything behind? Anything, sir? I forgot one thing, sir. They had on their shoulder some, I can't call animal, I can't call bird, I can't call reptile, some, a cocktail of all this. What? Yes, sir. And they were flying up and plucking the fruits from our trees and putting inside that, the top. Have they left anything behind? Any, you were telling they also had some bird-like features. So they left any feather or anything? No, sir. Sir, yes, they left 4 eggs. Brilliant. The scientist, she was so elated. They left eggs. You didn't tell me that first. Where are the eggs? Sir, we are poor people. And what can we do with such eggs, sir? I took the eggs, 3 eggs, along with all the other, my duck eggs, in the one basket and sold them. All the eggs, along with the 3 eggs, they were bigger. They were slightly different in color. But so what? People always look for some extra, no? So there also, when I took them in the market, they came and they saw and said, is it your duck's egg? It is looking different than others. Is it a foreign duck egg? I said, foreign only. Because they were from different place, no? So he said, And immediately all three of those eggs went away. Actually, sir, we have given a name also to that bee. And therefore, that egg is that being say. What name? What name? Turturia. Turturia. It's not a scientific name. Science, how we can know, sir? We are poor people. Oh, huh. Listen, you said 4 eggs, but you now told you sold 3 eggs. What about the other egg? It must be there lying in your place. Show me that egg. Sir, it's the custom, no, for us to always serve something to our guest. Even if we are poor, yes or no? This much do we know. Yes, whatever. Yeah. So, when you entered, immediately I served you a tumbler of water and a plate where there was an omelette. You sat, listened to me, drank water, ate the omelette. Yes, so that egg was the last one of Turturia's eggs. What? Yes, sir. Right now, it is inside your tummy, sir. Oh no! I lost the last chance of it. Research. I have been the first one to write out the paper on that, and you didn't inform me why you made me eat. Wait. I can still have a chance, no? To find out something, to do more examination on that. I think you are correct, sir. The last one way is there, but for that you will need your output only. I can't help for that, sir. Yes, right. You have prayed. My output. I need to go back home as fast as I can. I can't wait. I need to go to the lab directly, and there only I need to give out my output so that I can immediately start examining. Saying so, he rushed, went inside his car, and zoomed away. Now, listening to that tutorial say, to the story with that omelette inside, whether he could make it 6 hours back to his lab and perform experiment with his output, that's a different story for a different day. Who cares? But I said, na, my Pachuto, I will definitely say. If he is a scientist, I am a storyteller. So, all of you come. I invite all of you for that village fair. Our village fair where I am going to give a stall and share stories. আমাদের বিষ্ণুপুরে হাট বসেছে মেলা দেখতে আসো তুমি পেন্দাম গো বাবু মশাই দিদিরা যাই আজকের মতন হ্যাঁ
Talk about tall tales. This mother, she went out of the universe to spin a yarn just to save her son. That was superbly entertaining. Debjani, thank you so much. Now, the next story is very, very interesting. There's a celestial touch. There is a beautiful lady and a very handsome lad. And, it's a situation of should I or should I not? And without giving away too many details, let me call Pretigaya to tell you yet another story where there is this young lady who knows exactly what she wants and she gets it done on her terms. Over to you, Prati.
Thank you, Kaanch. The moon lived high up in the sky, all by herself, a happy, solitary life. Every time she wanted to have a little gossip, a little sparkly kind of a discussion, she would reach out to the stars and they would gossip together. And sometimes when she wanted to have some thundering political kind of discussions, she would reach out to the meteorites and get what she wanted. But otherwise, she was happy living on her own in her own space. Until one day, the sun, the majestic sun, happened to see the moon. And oh, चौदहवीं का चांद हो या आफताब हो, जो भी हो तुम, खुदा की कसम लाजवाब हो, चौदहवीं का चांद हो. It was love at first sight for the sun. He confidently moved closer to the moon and said, "Moon, I have fallen in love with you. And so I have decided to marry you." The moon was completely perplexed. Love you, decided to marry you, no proposal, no consent. Oh, what is this? But the sun continued, "I will make you a complete woman once I marry you." A complete woman? I already am a complete woman. I don't need the sun or anybody else to complete me. But well, the moon could not tell any of this to the sun, for after all, the sun was the being of the entire universe. Instead, she coyly smiled and said, "I am in love with you too. Oh, you and I will make a perfect match. I can't wait to marry you." "Well then, let's get married right away." Not right away, my dear. You and I are rather special. Can I ask you for something for our wedding? Of course, anything you want. Our wedding is going to be something out of this world. And for that, I would like to wear a wedding gown befitting it. Of course, said the sun. I will have this arranged right away. And so he went to Cascada, the rainfalls. And he said, "Cascada, the moon and I are getting married. And I want you to weave an absolutely amazing, out of this world wedding gown for her." "Oh, that's wonderful, said Cascada. "Congratulations. What size would that be?" Size? Yeah. This is her size. Get a wedding gown done right away. I will have a wedding gown weaved with cosmic fabric, and I will sprinkle it with stardust sequencing. It will take me about a week's time. 1 week? It is a rather special dress. I will need some time to work on it. All right, 1 week it is, said the sun. And so a week later, once the dress was ready, he took it to the moon. And once again, as soon as he saw her, "வெண்ணிலவே வெண்ணிலவே விண்ணை தாண்டி வருவாயா, விளையாட ஜோடி தேவை." "வெண்ணிலவே வெண்ணிலவே விண்ணை தாண்டி வருவாயா, விளையாட ஜோடி தேவை." He fell in love with her all over again. The moon very smilingly, shyly took the dress, and as she put it on, the stitches came out from both the sides. She took it out and gave it back to the sun. "Oh, this is a bit too tight for me. Please have this altered right away." Oh, I'm so sorry, he said, and he took it back to the Cascada and he said, "Cascada, I'm sure I gave you the right size, but this is too tight for her." "Son, this is the first time for you. It happens. Never mind. I have left enough cloth inside and I will alter this right away. But this will take me at least another week." "Another week?" "Well, It is a rather special dress. I don't want to rush it up, right? All right, said the sun. And so, a week later, once again he took that dress and he went to meet the moon. चांद मारा बनड़ी सा थाने नरकण में तो आयो सा थाने नरकण में तो आयो सा ए चांद मारा बनड़ी सा. It was love at third sight for the moon, for the sun again. And when he gave the dress, the moon had a lovely smile on her face. She happily took it over. And when she tried to get into that dress, it was so much more tighter. She took it off and she gave it back to the sun and she said, "What is this, sun? You do this again and again? How can you get my size wrong? Can't you see what my size is?" The sun was a little confused. I mean, his moon was glowing and she was even more beautiful, but she did look a little plumpier, a little fuller. But of course, he couldn't tell her that. He said, "I will have this sorted right away, my darling. Please, please don't get upset." He went back to the Cascada and he said, "Cascada, I'm sure I gave you the right size, but I must say, she does look a little bit, if I can say that." The Cascada smiled and said, "Oh, son, it happens, you know. A lot of brides, they get so excited about the wedding that they tend to eat a bit too much and then they tend to put on a little weight. But a second alteration will mean adding a lot more of cloth. It will need a lot more of time. Please give me 10 days, if not 2 weeks. 10 days! Son, I told you, no, this is an out of this world kind of a dress. It'll need some time." Well, the son didn't have a choice. He waited for those 10 days, 2 weeks rather. And finally, now the dress was a lot more heavier. There was a lot more fabric attached to it. He took it back to his moon and he looked at her. "चांदनी आस मारी वासी रे चांदनी मन रीतु वासी आछो शब्द सुनाओ रे चांदनी व्याव कद होसी आपनो कद होसी." The moon took that dress. Oh, it was a lot more heavier. And when she opened it, she didn't even try to wear it this time. She was furious. Son, what is this? Can't you see I'm so thin and you have a dress wherein I think 10 of us can fit in? What is wrong with you? Only one thing I ask for and even that you cannot get me? I can't marry you. I'm sorry, this wedding is called off. And she threw the dress away at the sun. The sun was heartbroken. He could see, yes, the moon was thin, crescent, not the fuller, fatter, plumpier self, and he couldn't understand, he couldn't get his head around it. But he could not tell anything to the moon. He took that dress away. But every night, he would look up longingly at the sun. And this time when he sang, they were not songs of love. They were songs of separation. चांद ने कहो आजे आँख में नहीं चांद ने कहो कि आजे आँख में नहीं पड़वीती जाए ना बात रही जाए ना बात अधूरी आजे चांद ने कहो के आजे हाथ में नहीं. The sun looked at the moon longingly, day after day, week after week, month after month, and then he noticed a pattern. The moon would grow big and thin, and big and thin, and big and thin, and he realized, hey, I have been tricked. But of course, he could not admit that to himself, to the moon, to anybody. So he sat there quietly, longingly, understanding exactly what the moon had done to him. The moon lived as she did before. But every now and then, when she thought it'll be fun to not remain single, but to mingle, she had her own ways of calling the sun over. And when the two of them would meet, the entire world would eclipse into darkness. And once they finished what they wanted to, they went back to their lives. The moon back up high in the sky, living a happy, solitary life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prati, for that. It was a story of, I think, cosmic wit, quiet resistance, and a woman who shone the brightest when she was true to herself, much like our storyteller herself. And that brings us to the end of Springboard Tales Women of Wit, our little session across villages, homes, kitchens, skies, and stars. Tonight's women, they remind us that wit is not loud, brute, or cruel. It is observant, patient, playful, but powerful. Thank you all for joining us today.
Okay, thank you. That was wonderful storytelling.